Police have arrested a man wanted for allegedly raping a fellow subway passenger. His arrest coming on the same day Governor Hochul officially promised billions of dollars in funding to improve subway safety. Here's News 4's Chris Jose.
The NYPD says the suspect on camera sniffing his fingers sexually assaulted a man on a northbound 1 train early Saturday morning. Officers arresting Mohammed Azim today.
Mohammed, what happened?
What happened on the train?
Huh?
What happened on the train?
Got me, G.
Police say Azim made sexual remarks and demanded money from a 27-year-old passenger. As the train approached the Christopher Street subway station in Greenwich Village, cops say he forced the victim to perform a lewd act.
Why were you sniffing your fingers?
The arrest taking place while Governor Kathy Hochul announced $68 billion over the next 5 years for the New York City subway system.
I don't want anyone to feel that sense of anxiety. That's what I've been fighting.
The governor confirmed a new plan expanding involuntary removal of those deemed mentally ill and a danger to themselves and others. The homeless also part of the plan.
We're going to put in some welcome centers, let people have a place to go to, get warmed up, take care of them, and then be persuasive in saying, now, we have a better option for you.
The newly approved state budget includes $77 million for 300 officers on overnight trains and 750 officers on platforms and in stations. The governor says the surge of cops underground is reducing crime and riders are noticing.
I feel it's safe. However, there are some times where you see someone acting not right.
The MTA touting cameras that led to an arrest in last week's deadly stabbing at the City Hall subway station. A camera also helping police track down Azim, who continued to speak to reporters as he was led away in handcuffs.
We're not dead.
Azim is charged with rape, sex abuse, and forcible touching. Police say the victim was taken to the hospital after that attack. In Greenwich Village, Chris Jose, News 4 New York.
Well, a man accused of engaging in a sexual act with a corpse aboard a subway train has been arrested.
That's right. Felix Rojas was taken into custody last night. The 44-year-old is accused of having sexual contact with an unresponsive man aboard an R train. This is in Lower Manhattan. It happened on April 9th. That man is believed to have died before the assault took place. The April 9th incident was recorded by a security camera.
Shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect, and much respect to the brothers pushing his word in the four winds of the earth. And shalom to you few sincere sisters out there as well. It's Brother Ariel coming at you with another lesson. Okay, and this is showing, those videos showing the climate that the world is in right now, specifically Babylon the Great. Okay, a lot of demons out here, man. And you can imagine how it'll be when this society turns lawless, man. And I've been saying this for a minute. Okay, the women, okay, here in this society gonna have to worry about getting raped, and so do men. Okay, you so-called tough guys out there that like to walk around with guns, you know, shooting in crowds, trying to reach your target, not caring about who you hit. You know, straight cowards, man. You know, hitting babies and all that. You know, the Lord is going to humble and judge a lot of you men out here just like this, man. Okay? It's going to get real bad out here, and we've seen it already. All right? Name any other time since you and I have been alive. I've been on this earth 45 years. Okay? And you know, of course, we hear things like that happening in the jails, Sing Sing, Rikers, you know, Canarsie, you know, what have you, where men are getting SA'd, you know, sexually assaulted. But on the train, though, you know, out here, you know, out here in the world, man, on the train where people, you know, in cities and all that, like, you don't really hear about that. But we're starting to hear more and more incidences like this, okay? More and more incidents are happening where men are getting SA'd out here, man. You know, showing you the climate that we're in right now, man. And it's comparative to Sodom and Gomorrah right here. And I'm gonna read it here, Genesis 19. You know, just before Sodom and Gomorrah got destroyed by fire. Okay, this is the type of time that men were on. Okay, and this is why America is known as spiritual Sodom. Okay, and I'm gonna read down the 13th verse, Genesis the 19th chapter. And there came two angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom, and Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. And he said, Behold, now my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early and go on your ways. And they said, Nay, but we will abide in the street all night. And he says, and he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house. And he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young, all the people from every quarter. And they called out unto Lot, and said unto him, Where are the men which came into thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them. Okay? Know them meaning they wanted to have sex with the angels, man, that came to Lot's house. Okay? And Lot went out at the door unto them, and shut the door after him, and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. Behold, now I have two daughters, which have not known men, right? Which were virgins, never had sex with a man. And let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do you to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing. For therefore came they under the shadow of my roof. And they said, Stand back. And they said again, This one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will needs be a judge. Now will we deal worse with thee than with them. And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door. So Lot even offered up his daughters, which were virgins, unto these men, to fulfill their sexual desires. And these men were so wicked, they turned that down because they wanted to sleep with two men. But the men put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house to them, and shut to the door. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness. This is these angels using spiritual power against these men that were coming in to rape them. Okay? And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door. You know, they couldn't see, of course. And the men said unto Lot, Hast thou here any besides son-in-law, and thy sons, and the daughters? And whatsoever thou hast in the city, bring them out of this place. For we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of the Lord Yahweh, and the Lord has sent us to destroy it. Okay? And this is how bad it was over there in Sodom and Gomorrah. You know, these sexual deviants saw two new men, two new faces, and they wanted to go and have sex with them. You know, Romans, the 1st chapter, speaks of, you know, how men were of a reprobate mind, okay, doing things that are not convenient, okay, that turn away the use of a woman, right, as far as having sex with a woman. Will get rid of that and rather deal with a man, okay? And this is the same society that we're in now. We're seeing it, you know, we've been seeing it unfold greatly, I would say, in the past 6 years, 7 years. It's got increasingly worse, man, as far as the sexual deviancy that is out here in Babylon the Great. And that's just another indication why this place needs to be destroyed and will be destroyed, man. Okay? Because that perverse spirit is out here in Babylon the Great. Okay, Isaiah 19:14. And it says, The Lord hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. Okay, so this spirit is out here, and this spirit is inhabiting many out here in this land called Babylon the Great. This place is so over sexualized. Okay, they throw it in our faces. Everything you see is something about sex, man. You know, that's one of the most important things. That's like damn near the foundation of America is sex. A lot of things thrive on sex. A lot of things have to do with sex here in Babylon the Great, man. Okay, and that perverse spirit is definitely in the midst of us. Okay, it's all around us. Okay, and what happened on them trains, this dude saw a man die and decided to go and rape him. Like, that's sick, you know, to have sex with a dead body, you know. And then you got this the first dude on there, see you know, an unsuspecting man, you know, looked at him and said, yo, this dude is weak. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna rape this dude, man. He gonna be doing the same thing in jail too, man. It happens all the time. You know, the weak get sexually assaulted in these prisons, man. And once society crashes, right, you already know that the elites, they're gonna allow men like that to be out here running rampant in the streets, man. So you can only imagine what's gonna be happening out here in the streets, man. Okay? When it's all out chaos. Okay? It's gonna get real bad out here, man. It really is. Let's get I'm gonna look it up here. That word perverse in the etymology. Let's see what comes up. Okay, perverse, wicked, okay, unnatural, degenerate, contrary, okay, turn away from what is right, wrong, malicious, spiteful, and corrupt, man. Okay, and this is the spirit that is out here in Babylon the Great, man. This is the spirit that's out here. Let's get Jude. Get the book of Jude here. Yeah, I seen that, and I'm like, yo, that can't be real, man. Nah, it's real. You know, it's real, bro. These dudes out here, these people out here are fucking maniacs, man. Okay? They really are. So just imagine when they know that there's no way that they will be, you know, locked up or persecuted for their acts, man. How far they gonna take it, man. Okay? There's gonna be a lot of suffering out here in Babylon the Great. Let's get Jude 1:5-7. It says, I will therefore put you in remembrance, though you once knew this, how that the Lord, having saved the people out of the land of Egypt, afterward destroyed them that believe not. Okay, and we have many unbelievers out here. And this is why a lot of people are going to die out here, man. Okay? And it says, and the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he hath reserved in everlasting chains under darkness unto the judgment of the great day. Okay, and we are them angels, man. Okay, and the chains of darkness are our bodies, man. Okay, where our spirits are trapped in this body. We're trapped in a corruptible body, man. Okay, so this body is a chain of darkness. Okay, we're brought here to suffer, man. Okay, and that's Second Esdras, the 14th chapter, which speaks of, you know, when you go up in the heavens, you receive your judgment, and then you come back onto the earth to live out your judgment, man. Second Esdras 14 and 34 and 35th verse speaks of that, man. And it says, even in Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh, man. Okay? And this is what these sickos do out here, going after strange flesh. How can one man find another man sexually attractive, man? You know, that shit is sick, man. It's sick. But these things are normal to these weirdos out here, man. even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh, are set forth for an example, right? Suffering the vengeance of eternal fire. And this is why a lot of people out here are going to suffer that fire, man, okay? Which is the destruction of America. They're going to be burnt up here in the midst thereof, man, because of their acts, okay? Because of the things that they do, all right? The immoral and deplorable acts that, you know, that a lot of these people are into, man, and that they do, man, okay? And those are two examples of it right there. And those are two indications of what is going to be out here in Babylon the Great when this place turns lawless. Okay? Yeah, man. This is why we need Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. We need that protection, man. We need that hedge. Okay? Because without it, you could be subject to something like that, man. And no man wants to go through that, man. That's some sick shit, man. But this is the society that we're living in, and this is the climate, man. Right here, you see it right there in front of your face, man. You know, demons in the flesh, man. Shalom.